What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. I'm Ken, and I'm here today to give you my entire Stephen King collection. I'm going to show it off. It was just Stephen King's birthday, his 74th birthday, I believe, yesterday. And I thought, I would celebrate the occasion by showing off my entire Stephen King collection, all of the movies that I have of his in physical media form. So I'm not going to show off my books or anything like that, although I do have quite a few Stephen King books. None of my collectibles. This is strictly a movie collection showcase. So I'm going to be showing off some DVDs, some Blu-rays, some 4K, some boutique Blu-rays. I've even got one VHS in here to show off to you guys. Hit that subscribe button. Also, be sure to hit that like button, guys, because every single like will help this video out and help this channel grow, and I would definitely appreciate it. And be sure to comment down below, guys. And if you've been a subscriber to my channel for any length of time, you've probably seen a lot of these in various other collection videos, either my entire Blu-ray collection video, my Scream Factory, Shout Factory collection video, 4K collection video. I've probably shown these off at some point before, but I thought because it was Stephen King's birthday, I just wanted to celebrate it. I wanted to get all these movies together. I wanted to talk about Stephen King. So I don't want this to be too long, but knowing me, it probably will. But I'm going to go through each title. I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions on the movies as I go as well, because I like doing that. Some of these I have not seen, though. So I'm actually excited to dive into the ones I haven't seen pretty soon around Halloween time, because there are a lot of these boutique Blu-rays that I do want to go into. So another thing that I want to note is that I've actually started a little bit of a Stephen King project. And it may take me 20 years to do it, but I want to read every single novel that Stephen King has ever written. And I've read a lot of his stuff already when I was a kid, but I want to read them all again as an adult, and then the ones that I haven't read as well. So starting with one that I've never read, this is his first novel that he ever wrote, and that is Carey. So I'm about 100 pages into Carey right now. I've already announced this on the channel, I think in a live stream I did 3 weeks ago, but I'm about 100 pages into Carey right now. When I'm done with reading the book, I'm going to watch the 1979 De Palma film, and then I'm going to watch the 2013 remake with Chloe Grace Moretz. So, and then I'm going to do some kind of like comparison video, just comparing all three of them, the book versus the movie. I just thought that those would be cool videos to make, and I just want to read all of his books and just get into more of Stephen King stuff, because I love Stephen King. He's my favorite author of all time, as I'm sure he is a lot of people. He's a very popular author, but I love him. I've read a lot of his stuff. He's definitely one that kind of hooked me into reading at a very young age, and I just want to get it back into reading as an adult, because I haven't read very much in adulthood. I used to read all the time as a kid. So, all right, let's get into the movies, guys. Like I said, I'm going to go through all of these just one by one, showing them off to you guys. Like I said, if there's any that I'm missing, call it out down below. So starting with the first one, and I've had these in order, and this is actually very hard for me to do, because going through my movies, I was like, is that a Stephen King movie? I kind of forgot some of them were Stephen King movies, because he has adaptations that aren't like horror. There may be one back there that I forgot. I don't know. But I've got them in order of movie. So if I've got a movie with different formats, I'm going to go through all of the formats for that one movie at once. I'm not going to do format by format. I'm going to do movie by movie. So starting with the first one, this is the one that I have the most copies of. The Shining. I have the 4K of The Shining. Love this cover. Spoke about this numerous times on the channel. You all know how much I love this. It's like my favorite cover in my collection. This is also one of my favorite covers in my collection. It was a Warner Icon slipcover. I think I got it at Walmart, but it's the Shining Blu-ray. It's just a regular, Shining Blu-ray cover underneath, but I just love this cover right here with the axe right there and the reds and the "Here's Johnny" written right there, down there at the bottom. I think that's super cool. And yeah, I've never been able to part with this, even though I had the Blu-ray and the 4K in the 4K set. I'm not going to get rid of this. I love this set with the slipcover. So another one that I love, guys, is the DVD. The DVD slipcover is awesome as well right here, guys. I got this at Walmart also. This is a Monster Mayhem release. Got the twins on the cover right there. Super cool. I love this cover. Absolutely love it. And then underneath, you got just the regular Shining. I haven't even taken this out of the plastic, because I think I've bought it around the same time that I bought the Blu-ray. So, all right, getting into the last format of The Shining, I have the VHS. I found this at a Goodwill, I think 2 years ago for like a dollar. So I went ahead and bought it. just because I wanted all the formats of The Shining, even though I don't have the Laserdisc, or I don't know if it had Betamax or anything like that. But the 4 main formats I now own of The Shining, and I'm happy because it's my second favorite horror movie of all time. So getting into the next one, guys, this is the sequel to The Shining, one that I think is super underrated. Like, this is just one of the best horror sequels of all time. I couldn't have been happier with this movie when it came out and I saw it. Just how well it continued on with the Shining universe, and that is Dr. Sleep on 4K. So this is a really cool cover. I do like this cover. And yeah, I watched this when it came out. So yeah, Dr. Sleep, I haven't seen it since. One interesting thing about this release, though, is I'm pretty sure you can only watch the director's cut on that 4K. I'm pretty sure. No, the theatrical version is on the 4K disc, and only the director's cut is on the Blu-ray. So you couldn't watch the director's cut on the 4K. That was the big thing with this one, because I know a lot of people were upset with that. So you can only watch the theatrical cut on the 4K. They didn't do the director's cut on the 4K disc itself, but still a great movie. I love this movie. I love Ewan McGregor, Rebecca Ferguson as Rose the Hat's like one of the best villains of that year, in my opinion. In the last 30 minutes, like, I know people say it's like fan service or whatever, but I just absolutely loved it. It was just some of the best 30 minutes I've ever seen in any horror movie. So yeah, I love Dr. Sleep. Getting into some of the non-horror adaptations, we have The Green Mile on Blu-ray. I've talked about this movie this year. I watched it for the first time this year. Absolutely love this movie. Of the Frank Darabont movies, this one is my favorite, but by a very thin margin, because this one comes in right behind it. The Shawshank Redemption on Blu-ray, and of course on 4K. I just reviewed the 4K last Thursday, I believe. So go check out that review if you haven't already. So absolutely love this film too. It was awesome. And yeah, Stephen King just doesn't just do horror. He does great, other great adaptations as well. So getting into this next franchise, I'm pretty sure everybody's familiar with this one. This is It. This is the miniseries from 1990 starring Tim Curry. I've said numerous times that this is my favorite version of Pennywise, the character. I love Tim Curry in his portrayal. I like Bill Skarsgård. He's okay. But Tim Curry, to me, is It. He's Pennywise the Clown. I love this movie. I grew up with this movie. It's very nostalgic for me. This is one of the first horror films that I ever seen or remember. I walked in on it. I think it was playing on TV or something. I was like 5 or 6, and I remember just being scared to death by it, but also like super intrigued about what I was seeing on TV. And yeah, I watched this at a very young age. I've always loved this movie. Just love the kids in this movie. Jonathan Brandis, I think, gives a really great performance in this film. R.I.P. Jonathan Brandis. And yeah, I just love everything about this movie. I even like the adult stuff. Everybody says that's the weakest part of this movie, but I still like the adults in this movie. I like John Ritter. I like John Boy from the Waltons. I'm blanking on his name. But yeah, I like this movie. I know it's a made-for-TV movie. It's kind of neutered. It's not as bloody as the newer ones, but it's a good movie, and I think it still holds up. I like it. And I also got the Steelbook for this one. I think this was an FYE exclusive Steelbook, but this one's really cool. You got Pennywise on the back with the balloons, and you got him on front right there. That was a really awesome image. And then you got some cool images on the inside. I also love the font for the It 1990. I love the font for that. I think it's great. I think it's great. So I like it better than this font. This is kind of weak font. Look at that. It's all weak and skinny. So I got the It Chapter 1 Steelbook. I wish I just got the regular 4K because I'm not a huge fan of this Steelbook. I'm not a huge fan of this look. This is like the first look I remember they put in like Entertainment Weekly when they were first showing what Bill Skarsgård looked like as Pennywise. And I just thought it looked super silly. Obviously, it's better in the movie. He does a better job at portraying the character and making it look a lot scarier than it looks on the cover. But I have no idea why they used that image, though, for this cover. They released a Steelbook a little bit later, I think, with like the sewers and stuff and some balloons. That was a lot better, but I already had this one. This is the first one that they released. And it was back in that day and era in my collecting that I felt like I needed to collect the Steelbooks when they came out. So I would always buy the Steelbooks, and I was big into Steelbooks when I first started collecting. So, but this one has the boat on the back. That's kind of cool. I do like that image. And then inside we got the discs and stuff like that. If you guys wanted to see the the disc or the non-disc art with that release. So getting into the next one. So with It Chapter 2, I didn't love the Steelbook for that, but it turns out I probably should have bought that one because it's like worth so much money right now, and it got sold out real quick. And a lot of people really want that Steelbook. That's like a big hot item. But It Chapter 2, I just got the slipcover. And I mean, the Steelbook was in stores when I went in there that day, but I didn't love the Steelbook, and I didn't want to make the same mistake, even though I probably should because I already got the Steelbook, but I do that a lot. I do that a lot because I'm just not into Steelbooks anymore, and I'm not going to buy it if I don't like it. But It Chapter 2, It Chapter 2 is good. The first one I like as well. I like both of these movies. I like both these movies. Everybody says that It Chapter 2 is a weaker movie. I kind of agree, but what I will say is It Chapter 1, when I saw it in theaters, I really liked it a lot. When I watched it again at home, I didn't like it so much. It kind of went down for me a little bit. It Chapter 2, when I saw it in theaters, I didn't really like this one at all. And then when I watched it at home, I liked it a lot more. So they're probably about the same level for me, but just like in terms of my enjoyment level, my first reaction to both of them was drastically different the second time I watched it. So that's actually kind of interesting. But I like this movie. I enjoy it quite a bit. I actually think that Bill Skarsgård gives a better performance in this movie than he does in the first one. I think he's scarier. That scene under the bleachers with the little girl is terrifying. So getting into the next franchise of Stephen King, because I've got these in kind of franchise order, but you got Pet Sematary from 1989. This is a classic horror film. This is one of my favorites of all time. Super creepy, super scary. The scene, everybody knows the scene with a little boy in the truck, and that scene like has definitely changed for me over time. I still thought it was awful when I watched it when I was a kid. Very disturbing and just kind of puts you in a really like uncomfortable mood for the rest of the film. Just perfectly sets the tone for what's to come after. As a parent watching that scene, it's very hard to watch. Even now. So yeah, like this movie has definitely changed with me over time. And then the whole Zelda stuff with the sister, she's super creepy as well. So I love Pet Sematary. This is like this would probably be in my top, at least my top 25 horror movies of all time. I love this movie. And I got the Mondo Steelbook. I was lucky to get this at FYE for like 10 bucks. I think it was on sale. So I didn't buy it when it came out first because it was a 4K exclusive with the 4K release when it came out, and then they downgraded it to Blu-ray, put it at FYE, and I got it then for 10 bucks. So that was a pretty good deal right there. On the inside, I got a little bit of disc art right there, so that's pretty cool. I'm not in love with this Steelbook, but for $10, I was happy to get it because, like I said, I really like this film a lot. So getting into the next one. Now, this one I haven't seen. I haven't seen Pet Sematary 2, but I got the Scream Factory for it. Really cool Scream Factory right here. I think I got the original. I already had the reversible cover arts reversed in that one, like I do with a lot of them. I'll usually reverse the cover art. I always ask you guys, do you reverse the cover art? Do you use the original poster artwork inside the slipcover? Because I like that because it, there's no need to have the same artwork underneath. Why wouldn't you switch it? Have both of them. But yeah, Pet Sematary 2. Haven't seen it yet, but when I do, I'll give you all my thoughts. Pet Sematary, the remake. This was okay. I didn't hate this one, but there's just, it obviously, like, it feels, I know it's a better made movie. It probably got better actors in it, but for some reason, I just don't connect to them emotionally like I did to the characters in the first one from 1989. Even though like most of the ones in that one are like TV actors that aren't very good, and this one has more notable actors for sure. You got Jason Clarke, you got John Lithgow. But yeah, this one, I just can't connect to the family like I did in that original one. And they change up like the main thing that happens in the middle of the movie. And it was spoiled for us because they spoiled it in the trailer. I didn't mind the change. I really didn't mind the change. But it definitely, didn't have as big of an impact as the death in the first one did for me, at least. But I actually like the ending of this. I heard a lot of people didn't really like the ending. I thought the ending was kind of cool. I like their take on it. But Pet Sematary 2019, not a bad movie. I don't dislike that movie. It's just not as good as the original. But the next one I got, guys, I actually have this shirt on right now. I got this from Spirit Halloween. This is a Creepshow shirt from Fright Rags, I think it is. But it's Creepshow. I got Creepshow, the Scream Factory version right here. This is based on a series of short stories by Stephen King, directed by George A. Romero. Absolutely love this movie. I watched it for the first time like 3 years ago. I just loved it. I grew up with this one, Creepshow 2, which is also based on Stephen King stories. I watched this one all the time when I was a kid. For some reason, I never watched the first Creepshow, but I corrected that blind spot a couple of years ago, and yeah, I had a really good time with this one. I love it. The segment that I love the first one, the Happy Birthday one, but I love the segment with Stephen King and the moss is growing on him and stuff like that, the meteorite. I love that one. So yeah, I love all the segments in this one, really. This is a really strong and fun horror anthology. So check out Creepshow if you haven't already. And this edition by Scream Factory is like one of their best, in my opinion. Love those hard boxes when they do them right. So next one up, guys, is Secret Window with Johnny Depp. So I've not seen Secret Window in a long time. Probably since the theater, to be honest. I remember seeing this in high school, so I don't really have a ton of thoughts on it. I need to watch it again, but yeah, I grabbed this one, I think at a Goodwill recently. This next one is a Vestron title, Maximum Overdrive. This is the first Vestron title I ever purchased in my collection, and then they stopped putting out titles, so I'm glad that they're back now. But yeah, this is the first one I purchased, and then they stopped making them for like 2 years. But I watched this one. This one's a super fun movie. Don't take it too seriously. It's definitely not one of Stephen King's best, but it is the only one of his adaptations that is directed by him himself. Stephen King directed Maximum Overdrive, but it has, Emilio Estevez. Emilio! He's really fun in it. I really like him in pretty much everything that I've seen him in. And yeah, this is a movie, don't take it too seriously. It's machines that come to life and they're killing people. But I remember watching this as a kid, laughing my ass off at that Coke machine scene where it keeps hitting the guy on the balls and then kills him. But yeah, it's a fun movie. I like Max, and it's got a great soundtrack. AC/DC, you can't get any better than that. I got Lawnmower Man right here, guys. This is a Scream Factory edition. Have not seen this movie since I was a kid. I can remember almost barely anything about it. But yeah, Lawnmower Man I have in my collection. Silver Bullet. This is one that I really need to knock off my list. This is going to be a top priority for me this October. Never seen it. I've heard it's a really great werewolf film. I just watched The Howling for the first time last year. American Werewolf in the London the year before that. So I'm catching up on my werewolf horror film. So I know that Silver Bullet is one that's held up pretty high by most people. So I'm planning on watching this one this Halloween season. So stay tuned for my thoughts on that. The Dead Zone, starring Christopher Walken. This one just came out from Scream Factory back in July. Got a review of it up on the channel, so you guys can definitely check that out if you want to see my full thoughts. But I watched this one like last year. So this was a rewatch for me this year. It looked great. This is like one of Scream Factory's best transfers they've ever done. The movie itself, though, I will say I enjoyed it better on the second watch than I did the first. That's all I'll say. It's still not like top tier Stephen King for me, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the movie. Next up, guys, we got Misery. It's one of the best movies of all time. What else can you say about it? Kathy Bates won an Oscar for this movie. How many Stephen King movies did people win Oscars for? Maybe like Shawshank Redemption. Well, Shawshank didn't even win an Oscar. I covered that last week. Nominated for 7, didn't win 1. But yeah, Misery, one of the greatest movies of all time. One of the greatest performances of all time by Kathy Bates. I love this movie. It has been too long since I've seen it, though. I need to rewatch it. Yeah, Misery is fantastic. And I love this cover. This is like one of my favorite Scream Factory covers right here. Very simple, just with her holding that hammer. But it's very effective and it's very cool. I love this cover. Next one up, guys, we got Firestarter. And this is the movie that Stranger Things owes everything to because it's practically the same damn story. And yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of this one when I watched it. You got George C. Scott in here, Drew Barrymore, one of her first performances, 2 years post E.T. 1984 film. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one when I watched it, Firestarter. I think I watched it a couple of years ago for the first time. And yeah, I think it's super underrated. A lot of people don't talk about this movie, and they should, considering Stranger Things straight ripped the movie off. Next up, guys, is another franchise we're going to get into. We got the Brian De Palma Carey right here from 1979. So yeah, this has got a cool little cover on it. A little like stick-on cover. I remember when Walmart was selling these like covers right here. I was trying to tear it off to show you like the real cover, but I don't want to rip it. But yeah, it's a cool cover right here. I'll do a little bit of a close-up right there. Some really cool, interesting artwork. Then we got the 2013 remake with Chloe Grace Moretz. I remember watching this and enjoying it, but I don't remember much about it. To be honest, I don't remember much about the original, other than I've seen it once. So I've seen both of them once. So I'm actually looking forward to watching both of them again and kind of comparing the two. This is one of my favorite Stephen King adaptations right here, guys. This is one of my favorite John Carpenter movies, probably top 3 for me. Rewatched it a few years ago when they re-released the 4K. Absolutely loved it. Christine, I fell in love with this movie. It is so good. It is so underrated. If you haven't seen Christine, this one came out in 1983. I watched it when I was a kid. I remember watching it when I was a kid. When I rewatched it, I thought it'd be like a goofy movie, like a car coming to life, killing people. That whole premise is just kind of silly, kind of like Maximum Overdrive, to be honest. But when I rewatched this, I was just so taken by the performances, just the way that they build the suspense and the dread, and just the car itself. How it's amazing how they make the car feel like such a villainous character, and it's just a car. But it's absolutely menacing and terrifying when it starts rolling through, and you feel that terror and that sense of dread every single time you see this car. And I absolutely love this film. So I think that everybody in this movie is given a great performance as well. You got Harry Dean Stanton in this movie. Keith Gordon is amazing in this film. So yeah, I love Christine. It's super underrated to me. This next one up is, these are all DVDs. So a lot of these are the, well, I'll go ahead and pull this one out because it's probably a lot of you are going to be like, why don't you have this in Blu-ray or 4K? But Stand By Me, I still just have the DVD copy of this. I found this in a Walmart bin like 3 years ago. Bought it, and I have not upgraded it yet. I don't know why. I need to. I know it's a classic movie. I haven't seen this in a really long time either, so I need to buy it in 4K and rewatch it. But yeah, Stand By Me is a lot of people's favorite Stephen King movie. But yeah, like I said, need to rewatch it again to kind of fill in my full thoughts on that one. This next one is a 4-pack of Stephen King films. This is Dolores Claiborne, Dreamcatcher, Cat's Eye, and Creepshow is also in this as well. So I think I got this at Goodwill for like $2, the 4-pack of movies right here. So I ended up keeping it. So, but I do have 2 of these films already on Blu-ray. Dreamcatcher I actually forgot to get my Blu-ray for. That's the one I missed right there, my Blu-ray of Dreamcatcher. But at least I still have it here. And yeah, Creepshow, Cat's Eye. I haven't seen Cat's Eye yet and had not seen Dolores Claiborne, but interested in that one because you got Kathy Bates and Jennifer Jason Leigh, both great actresses. So definitely need to check that out. These next 2 guys are made-for-TV movies, which Stephen King was kind of known for in the 90s with It, and then, you know, Tommyknockers, which I have not seen since the 90s on TV. I remember we had this recorded on VHS tape, but yeah. Tommyknockers, I don't remember enjoying it that much when I was a kid. I read the book too, and I don't remember enjoying the book all that much. It's kind of like an alien invasion story, but the interesting thing about this is I found both of these at Goodwill, this one and Rose Red. Both on DVD, and they have this Walmart stickers up there, so they were like in the Walmart bin at some point probably. They were both going for like $30 to $40 on eBay. I don't know if they still are. I actually found 2 copies of this in a Goodwill, so I sold one for $30 and kept this one. So Tommyknockers, I only found the 1 copy, so I went ahead and kept it because I wanted it in the collection. So I don't know if they're still going for that much, but that's like one of the best finds that I've found in a Goodwill before. So the next one, I think I got this maybe in a Goodwill as well, some kind of thrift store, but it's Storm of the Century. I've never seen this one before, so let me know in the comments if this one's any good. I don't really know too much about this particular story. So yeah, I think this was made for TV as well, but correct me if I'm wrong. 1999 film, so yeah, don't know. This next one is based on, you know, Stephen King's stories. I don't think any of these are based on any like direct adaptation because these are both the sequels to Children of the Corn. I don't have the first Children of the Corn. I'm hoping to get that Arrow 4K release probably next week, so then I will own it. But I have the 2 sequels in this DVD double pack that I got at a Goodwill, I believe. So there you have it, guys. There's my entire Stephen King collection. I tried to keep it short as I could, but we're still going to end up going like 22, 23 minutes here. So I hope you enjoyed this kind of just random video. I like doing collection videos. I like just going through my Blu-rays and talking about them. I thought, you know, Stephen King's birthday, this is definitely a significant occasion to kind of do some kind of a collection video on him. He's definitely somebody that I have a lot of adaptations for, and I need a lot more. So let me know in the comment sections below which one in his filmography should I own in my collection, or ones 1, 2, 3, however many you want to comment down below. I know I need Cujo in the collection. Let me know in that comment section below. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button and turn on all those bell notifications for future videos, and we'll see you next time.